Y'all go.
Let's go.
Oh,
I gotta ask this.
Sam's ready. Your turn,
Let's
Sam.
I'm going.
Are we good on camera?
Somebody else
Yes,
go first.
it's going right
Lights,
now.
camera, action. You guys are on.
I got it.
You get a doozy in your chamber?
I got a doozy. I just gotta find it. As soon as I find it, you'll get it. So, all right. I got it. Why does Lincoln claim at the end of the Gettysburg Address that the Union's representative form of government is being threatened?
This is Unit 5.
Well, I mean, I'm looking through here and, you know, it could be under freedom of speech, it could be under a few other things. Isn't that fair? Is that a fair question, Mr.
Yeah, it's fair. I'm looking now. I'm thinking, yeah,
It's a fair question.
It's in the ballpark-ish.
Why does Lincoln's claim at the end of the Gettysburg Address that the Union's representative form of government is being threatened?
I would say that he said that the Union's form of representative government was being threatened because not everyone was truly represented. That's all I got for that.
Thanks, Forrest.
Okay, I'll throw out my comments afterwards, but go ahead. Anybody else?
Where in the Bill of Rights is my supposed fundamental right to happiness protected?
Your fundamental right of happiness can be protected in the Ninth Amendment, and saying that the Ninth Amendment protects rights that are not explicitly laid out in the Bill of Rights, and your fundamental right of happiness is one of those.
As a woman, I could argue that my fundamental right to happiness is protected in the First Amendment under petition, which can be seen and used in Roe v. Wade, which gives me the privacy to my own body, which makes me happy as a woman in this modern day and age.
What parts of the Bill of Rights establish the right to privacy?
The right to privacy can be seen in all parts of the Bill of Rights, but more specifically in Griswold v. Connecticut, a Fourth Amendment case. It was established the precedent for marital privacy, which was then extended to the precedent for privacy in general for the American.
Privacy can also be seen in the First Amendment, in which you have the freedom to your own ideas and the freedom to believe in what you want, and that extends to the privacy of your thoughts and your beliefs.
Branching off of that, also the Fifth Amendment establishes privacy against self-incrimination, so the privacy of your own thoughts, and the privacy to not speak.
How much authority does the doctrine of in loco parentis give a school in invading the Fourth Amendment rights of students? In loco parentis, in place of the parents, school acting as a guardian in place of the parents. How does that define what they can do?
I think that parents can set guidelines on what is explicit and what they allow their children to see and monitor, and that can be seen in schools, that things are regulated through the Children's Internet Protection Act of 2001, which allows no explicit or pornographic things to be featured in schools, and in a way, it's a way of teachers and people of the school to act as parents and regulate what their kids are seeing.
Specifically, consideration to privacy, in Taylor v. New Jersey, it set the standard that school officials only need a reasonable suspicion to search a student. So in that case, it takes over the parents' responsibility to search their child's possessions for something that could be illegal.
And while my colleague states this, there actually has been no Supreme Court precedent set over schools searching students' cell phones or electronic devices. And while that is true, the lower courts have been swayed both ways on that issue, so it's kind of up in the air at this point.
Does the First Amendment protect hate speech?
Yes, the First Amendment does protect hate speech. It's hate crime that it doesn't protect. This is stated in the entirety basic law in which hate speech is acceptable unless it evolves into hate crime.
It's like a threat.
Yeah.
The Constitution makes a particular effort to protect expressions of unpopular views. Why do you think this is so important?
I think that protecting unpopular views is so important because if you limit unpopular views, whether it be either whichever way it goes, this can have a chilling effect on the kind of speech that is limited in government. So if you limit unpopular beliefs, then it opens the avenue for popular beliefs to be limited by different forms of government.
This also builds off the idea as established in ABUS of the free marketplace of ideas. Even if an idea is obscene or foul, just allowing for it to be heard allows for the community and everybody to efficiently weigh it and determine what they think they want to believe and what they don't want to believe.
Why would TLO in New Jersey not apply to a student's cell phone?
It wouldn't apply to a student's cell phone arguably because of the expectation of privacy that can be seen in a law. There is still that gray area of whether a thumbprint on a cell phone is considered an efficient lock, but as of right now, that expectations of privacy is still inherent in pressing a lock into your cell phone, just as a safe would require an additional warrant in that process.
So just to be clear, so on my cell phone, I do have a thumbprint, I can use a code, but if I didn't set that, then I wouldn't have an expectation of privacy?
Arguably, no. This can be seen especially in places in which someone is being searched or seized incident to an arrest, in which, as stated in Chimolby, US, that Chimolby, California, in which the immediate area surrounding said person is open to be searched or seized. So if you don't have that lock on your cell phone, then it can't be regarded as something that's being protected by your expectation of privacy.
Additionally, I think it would be reasonable to extend the ideas established in Katz v. US and Olmstead v. US to cell phone privacy, in which it's established in Olmstead v. US that's because he had that intention of privacy by shutting the phone booth door, that his expectation of privacy was there because he had that intention of shutting it, just like a password would be on your cell phone. Whereas in Katz, the wires between two houses were considered public, so he didn't have that intention of privacy.
The Cats
It-
or Olmstead?
It was switched, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
I think that one could argue that the precedent established in TLO of reasonable suspicion could be applied to obtaining a warrant in a school, as opposed to having probable cause to open a cell phone. Possibly they could only have reasonable suspicion to do so.
Facebook isn't a legitimate news organization. Why should they be responsible for checking the internet and rooting out what is a fake story or a real story? Why is there any responsibility for them at all to be responsible for that?
It's not that there is a responsibility for them to do that, it's their perceived responsibility for them to do that because they're a private corporation and their weeding out of fake news could and is different than the government's ability to weed out fake news. So I think that that's why you see some social media sites doing it and others not.
Why are students in schools treated differently than everyday citizens with respect to their rights?
Students are treated differently than everyday citizens because in schools, there's a need for that, for the discipline to exist in order for there to be a learning environment, and disruptive speech or disruptive action is limited, as established in Morris v. Frederick, in which student speech is limited because there needs to be that, that learning environment present.
This can also be seen in Malcolm v. Frazier, in which a student gave a actual speech, for when he was running for a student office position, and such innuendos were prohibited because of the learning environment, and that it was considered to be disruptive because of this essential learning environment the school is able to limit such speech.
If there is an extent to which the limitations do not stand, as seen in Stafford Unified School Districts v. Reading, in which a small 13-year-old girl was stripped down to her underwear and searched. This was seen as a violation of her Fourth Amendment rights just because they were searching her for something that didn't require that much process. And so you could argue that there are rights that are fundamental and are still in schools and cannot be infringed.
I would agree with my colleague, building upon that point, political speech is a form of speech that in schools cannot be infringed upon. This is partly established in Tinker v. Des Moines with the expression of speech.
How much time's left?
5 minutes?
Oh, good.
Why are there limits on the practice of religion in public schools?
Because arguably it doesn't pass through the Lemon test, in which like an excessive entanglement of religion and state, because public schools are a state-funded environment, there cannot be that excessive entanglement. This can be seen in Engel v. Patel, in which prayers cannot be read in school because that's considered an excessive entanglement, even if it's not required and it's voluntary.
Public schools are not necessarily, they are funded by the government, and in the Establishment Clause, it says that that the United States government cannot have an established religion. So through the Constitution, they've been able to discern cases similar to what my colleague was saying because of
Wrapping up both of my colleagues' ideas in kind of one statement, it's the idea of separation in state.
Separation of what state?
Church and state, sorry. I don't know why I did say
Reno
that.
High School is the,
Separated state itself.
Reno High School is the only high school in the school district that doesn't do the Pledge of Allegiance every day. You think Reno High School's right and the other schools are wrong, or do you think Reno High School has it wrong?
I would argue that under West Virginia's